Often, after having created vibhuti, he carefully wipes away any that remained. During the darshan, he chooses 10 to 20 people and invites them for an interview in a special room. It happened to us in the ashram of Whitefield in April. No one had been able to film an interview before. His right hand immediately made the classical movement of rotation, materializing a silver ring for a gentleman from Canada. Then he wanted to slide it onto his finger personally. Then he called a relative of the same gentleman. I don't remember exactly, perhaps he was a cousin. I had heard about it, but this was the first time that I saw it myself. Sai Baba talks to everyone about very personal things, things he could never have found out about. Does he read thoughts? I believe that when he wants to know something, then it somehow jumps into his mind. And then it was my turn. I was so excited that I placed myself right in front of the camera, blocking what Baba was materializing. A silver ring with the face of Jesus enameled on it. Then, in little groups, separately, he invited 5 or 6 people at once into a neighboring room, smaller still. I must admit that the ring was pretty tight on the ring finger of my left hand, just above the knuckle, but I didn't notice. I had once again had this feeling of an intense power, like bright lights surrounding myself and Baba. I had prepared some basic questions which I had wanted to ask him, but I didn't. Without either of us speaking, I had the answers to those same questions in the same instant that I was about to ask them. And so they lost their significance, my great questions. A sense of illumination had entered into my head and especially into my heart. I had understood what he was telling me. You are your heart, not your mind. The second interview in my life took place in Puttaparthi 4 months later. He immediately made vibhuti, which he then distributed. Sai Baba turned to an Indian lady who was sitting near the door. He asked her how she was, how her family were, and then asked her to give him the ring that he had made for her some time ago. It was a little ring made of gold with rubies in it. During the years she had it, it had lost 3 rubies. Baba blew onto the ring. Once, twice, 3 times. Then he showed the ring. The rubies were back. And what is more, some of them had been replaced by 2 emeralds and some little diamonds. People react in different ways to Sai Baba. Everyone reacts to his or her own experience. This lady was very moved. She protested that it was too much of a present. You deserve it, said Baba. Keep up the good work. She kissed his feet where the Hindus believe is the point of highest energy of an avatar. Then he immediately took my silver ring with the enameled Jesus, which was squeezing my finger. He passed it to my neighbor to look at. And he asked him to put it onto the ring finger of my left hand, where I had always worn it. It went on with difficulty. Then Sai Baba took it from me again and showed it to the people who were there. He blew on it. And then slid it onto that same finger where it had been too tight before. The ring had grown larger, If anything, it was now too loose. I was worried that it could fall off my finger and that I might lose it. We had solved one problem, only to create another. So he took it off my left hand and put it onto my right, which is slightly larger and has wider fingers. The ring fitted perfectly onto my right-hand ring finger. I thanked Sai Baba, and he just smiled. I clearly saw a blue aura coming from his hair.